All right, guys, welcome back to another stock review. We've got a few tickers we want to go ahead and look over this week. Last week was pretty much a very slow week, but there was a couple good runners within that week. So I expect them to kind of get a little possible continuations or continuation of interest, I should say, for this week. Obviously, last week there was COWPP and then EXLA, the custodianship play. Pretty much the main poppers. There was a couple others like MLMN and I think a few others as well. But I want to go ahead and touch on looking at a few going into this week. I guess I'm going to go ahead and cover UNRG since everybody's so involved in this one right now. Looking back at it, the chart has definitely pulled back massively from these highs. We did hit them kind of like twice. It came all the way back down to a low of, 32, and then bounced up to a high of 50. I guess that was October 7th, which was last week Monday, which was actually a pretty good day. Monday was actually, I want to say, was really the best day last week as far as, for UNRG, obviously. Did sell off quite a bit. There's quite a bit of red volume that has pulled back. But we've tested down to these lows as far as being 21, and we've tested it twice. We bounced off that 21 and hit as high as, I think, almost 35 here. Yeah, 34 or something. And that was a hard resistance, but did not crack through it. And a lot of this is all just pretty much emotional trading under speculations of this merger coming in. Some of it was it Dasani bringing in his Neon Bloom, $1.5 billion merger or something to that degree into this thing, and now it looks like no, that's not the case. But there is no description or due diligence or ideas of what the merger is to come in this. The only thing we got to go on is Dasani saying what's something big and exciting. It's going to be really great. And that's kind of all we're going off of at this time. Being with this share structure so tiny, and the market cap so small, this thing with even just like a $50 million merger is going to be seeing, these numbers again, or $100 million merger. It's not necessarily a $1 billion merger. We need to be able to see over 50s. Being so tiny, this is definitely way oversold. I mean, you look at some of these indicators if you want to add them in here. It's bounced off of that 200 SMA many times, or a couple times here. The only time it was ever below this 100 or this 200, simple moving average was right here when it pulled back from that first run. It bounced off of it there, which is this red line, and hit a high of 16 and came down. Actually, barely broke below it. There was a lot of shorts attacking it at this time as well. It was very low volume, as you see down here. And then we bounced right up through it and broke up, and we never seen below it again since then. Obviously, we bounced off of it right here, and we bounced off of it right here on Friday. Or I think it was Thursday, actually. No, Thursday or Friday, October 11th. What day was that? Maybe that was Friday. Yeah, that was Friday. And then kind of picked back up. We got some. I think it was midday volume that pretty much perked it up, and it's seen as high as I think close to 27 here. So we'll see what it does as far as holding this bounce, if this is actually going to continue to build. But going forwards to tomorrow, obviously that 21 zone right there is going to be our hard support. As long as that holds, we're in good shape as far as to channel sideways for the meantime. It was very low volume. I mean, there was literally, I think, not much more than $100,000 that went through it that day. It's definitely very slow volume. Selling is kind of dried up, and there's not a whole lot of I've noticed there's not near as many tweets or many people talking about UNRG at this time because it's literally an unknown territory right now. It's pretty much as long as we hold this channel, trade sideways for the meantime, I don't mind holding my position or grabbing some of this if it wants to test 21 again. I did get some between 21 and 24 quite a few times. And as long as it trades this channel, I'm perfectly fine with it, as long as it wants to hold above that 200 simple moving average. And of course, it'll easily bounce back over, 30s with ease. It does not take much to do that. And as long as everybody soaks up the selling, it's pretty good. And accumulation, there is nothing but a ton of accumulation. If you look at this accumulation chart here, I just popped below it here. I mean, it's massive amount of accumulation here and no downfall with this dropping at all. As long as that stays strong, the shareholders obviously in very good, soaking up whatever people want to drop on it. As far as next support, if it did try to break that 200, which is very hard to break that 200, I mean, we could see as low as maybe 18 right here where it tested one time. I don't really see us breaking that. Like I said, it did drop below it one other time during a major pullback right here when it dropped below it. It was from 9 to 7, but it was very quick. It was not much volume between that 9 and 7. And I was lucky enough to grab some between 7 and 10 in this area too before we got our massive upswing, and it was a great trade. And now it's literally another rinse and repeat method before we actually get news on this. There was a message Saturday, I think, to DeSanti asking or inquiring about, when's news dropping or when's this dropping? Is it going to be this week or weekend? He can't give a time frame because it's literally up to the new merging company to drop this information for us, the shareholders. So pretty much you're at the mercy of that happening. Pretty much the longs are going to be winning this play. It's not one that's going to be easily flipped right now, I don't believe. As long as we trade low volume within this channel, we're safe. I feel pretty confident moving forward that adding in this area between that 20, 21 and 24 zone, you're pretty golden as far as if you can actually catch those shares down here and waiting for that. I'm assuming some 8K and some filings to get this thing back to current. Another play, PFMS. Cover this one every week. It is a lot of our longs. In this play, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of these indicators. Moving forward, this play had, I think it was pretty much people anticipating weekend filings. There did get close to 5 million bid support there Friday afternoon between 35 and 37, I think it was. 00 for 35 and 37. It has been holding this channel so well. There's only been twice that it's actually broken below the 35 zone. Down here during a panic on that, overreaction on the OS being a billion something, 6 billion something. And then right here where it was just literally low volume takedown. With this being said, I feel pretty confident that 34, 35 will continue to hold till we get those filings. With that said, looking back at the spreadsheet, or Lazar on his, where do I have this at? Right here. This being said, looking back at the spreadsheet on his past plays, the longest one I could find was literally these Q plays, okay, which are bankruptcy plays that he apparently got custodianship of and was doing. The two bankruptcy plays here were literally his longest, CERPQ and I think it was MSHFQ, and that Q stands for bankruptcy. So it's a bankruptcy play where OTC markets got updated, and this one was actually a month and 9 days was the longest one, MSHFQ. And that next longest one right here was CERPQ. CERPQ. It literally took a month and 3 days for filings to drop. We're literally right now on PFMS a month and 3 days. If he's going to actually go as long as that month and 9 days, you're looking at what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 next Saturday, this coming Saturday, being a month and 9 days. I don't see it taking long. I think everything's got to surely come in here. This is not a Q ticker either. There's a couple others that took a month and a couple days, but nothing longer than a month and 9 days according to his past history on this. So I feel like we're literally in this window of patience will really pay off on this play. If people want to get out, move their money on, then so be it. But I feel very confident. It's not a matter of if they drop; it's a matter of just when. And looking back at the OS updated, you know, we're dealing with a 500 or 650 or 690 mil OS. And it's hard to say what the restricted shares are, but when those filings drop, we'll know it and we'll understand what the float really is. With that being said, I think this float, just guesstimating off past plays and the way they trade, is going to be between 100 and 175 million is kind of where I'm thinking the float is. There's a possibility it could be less. You know, I could be wrong on all this, but, you know, when we understand it and see how much is actually restricted here, as far as the blocked trades or the locked amount of trades in there will be for obviously his merger, and then we'll, you know, see if he drops information on the merger as well at the same time. But, you know, patience will pay in this play. I feel very confident. We've been in it for a long time. You know, some people have obviously taken their money out and moved on and let this thing kind of trade sideways for the meantime. But still good chart. Obviously, our first areas of resistance to break will be these 71s. When this filings do come out and you look at it from, you know, 0037 to 0040, obviously 100% from that area is going to be between 70 and 80, 0070 and 80. So very easily 100% from these areas to break when those filings do drop. You know, who doesn't want 100% on their money from these levels? Another play that we're going to look at here is TBSS. We first played this play back in February, I believe. But it does look up here that the custodianship was terminated, which means they've got the new merging company out. There's a CEO name out there on the OTC markets as well, confirming who the new CEO. This was a Richard Chang custodianship play. So let's see if he drops. It doesn't look like Richard Chang was updating any filings for this play or anything. I think some stuff did drop back in May. Yeah, back in May here. He dropped a Form 15 and an 8K. Pretty much just going over, Richard Chang, who may be reached at the company's address, showing that he's the new executive officer, CEO. And obviously he's been terminated at custodianship and pulled off to this new merging company, which hopefully we get some more information out soon. Apparently they did update the CEO right here, the James Coe. There's some people actually doing some due diligence right now that's kind of, you know, researching who this James Coe is. Appears like it's a fairly big name. Just looking at the, you know, paperwork that's out there on him right now. So in this sense, it still shows Richard Chang as advisor with him, but, you know, new president, CEO, and treasurer is this James Coe, which this could be a really, you know, really nice merging effect going on for this play. Something to definitely watch. It's in a good price area. It does fly. It's got a fairly nice float at 61 million. Not something that's just a tiny float. You know, this thing could easily see 5 to 10 cents on this float if it really had some good demand for it, depending on the merger. So one to obviously watch out. It does trade very thin, and can, you know, it's not for the emotional trader. As long as you get a good dip, a good cheap entry, it's good one to hold this week. I believe it's going to get some attention, and we'll get some filings and updates as far as what is merging into this company, the stock. So in that sense, we did hit a high of 250 on October 10th, which was Thursday, I believe. They did drop an SOS filing of some sort, I think it was, showing the new officer, which is the new CEO, James Coe. So that's kind of what popped this up from this area down here on the lows of a penny 15, held sub penny at 0078. But it's pulled back, and it's kind of pulled back here, and I expect this to probably continue to grow for the week as well. So top play to definitely keep an eye on. Another play is LVCA. I'm not too crazy as far as, you know, whatever the hype is around this play. It's another JC or Costello play in a sense that he's supposedly buying this and buying that. I don't know. I like to see paperwork that really confirms, you know, the future of these plays before I ever hold long in them. Just like we just touched on UNRG, PFMS, and TBSS. I like to have good confirmation on what is coming forward to these plays, you know, that there's a guarantee, okay, hold this thing, then there's this potential, there's this potential, there's this potential. I did play this play a couple times last week just off pure volume on a rinse and repeat method. I think some got as low as in the mid threes and sold out in the sixes, and again in the mid fours and sold out in the eights. So with that being said, this is another play to see as it continues to climb, and this float is very tiny. There's no saying what the float is on OTC markets that I'm aware of, but I want to say this thing trades like a good 20 mil something, maybe 30, 40 mil float. It's not really huge, but looking back on filings, there is no say as far what the float is. It just comes up as not available at this time, but still 167 mil OS, 250 AS, tiny share structure, and trades literally like it's 20 to 50 mil float, kind of in that range. So with that being said, it's easy to see $10 very quickly, or 10 cents very quickly, with volume. We did hit a high of 9 cents just here, and we pulled back on Friday at 6.55. So being that said, a good support area to probably re-add would be mid fives, maybe low fives. Yeah, mid fives probably. See if it can actually pull back. If it doesn't pull back that far, then obviously we're looking at low sixes or six itself, and to pull back forward, going forward. So it did close the mid sixes. So low sixes or six or mid fives would probably be a decent add as long as volume is strong there and the Costello force is behind it. So I do want to see some catalysts come out for this play if they do bring them out. Looking at OTC markets, there is that, they did get the filings out, and they obviously did get it pink current October 8th, and it is now pink current. So with that being said, there could be some news dropping that will drop hopefully soon and give a little bit of announcement as far as the forward progression of this play to keep me long in it. Another play is this COWPP. COPP. Crazy play, but it's obviously preferred shares for COWP instead of the common shares. So this does not get affected by reverse splits or anything of that nature. Nothing but pure hype on it, but apparently this is associated to some celebrity of some kind out there. We'll see how this play goes. There is a lot of interest in it. It does move with freaking ease. I mean, you look at this OS, it is tiny. But, with that said, we'll see what it does. There's potentials of seeing, 80 cents, $1, $5, whatever it is, but play the volume. The volume is really strong in COWPP. That just sounds awful when I say it like that. COPP. It is very strong, and it's pulling out some crazy, crazy moves. So follow the money. Still a very strong play. Did hit 30-something, 33. Yeah, did hit a high of 33. I'm going to pull up a 3-month chart. Ain't much different. And we pulled back to as low as 24.9. This thing could see low 20s or mid to low 20s as far as bounce area, but I don't know. There is a lot of attention behind it. And going forward, this thing could definitely pull some charts. So one to keep on watching, definitely one that has a lot of good volume playing in it. Another play, looking at, let's see, MLMN. I first alerted this one Thursday night to the group. And this play, as we saw in the past, has hit a high of 350 back in February 2017. So I felt like that was definitely a good number, and also 2.6 and 2 again as well. It was sitting at 0041 Thursday night. We got some filings out Thursday night. And it was the first filings this play has ever gotten in 4 years, I believe. Yeah, 2015. And then some more dropped actually the day during intraday. And it got momentum, but the spread is so far, okay? It's so far apart. It was literally bid for 0041 and the ask was 99, 0099. So literally a penny, over 100% pop to make this thing actually start moving. But I was watching it early that day to see, waiting for volume to come in before it decided to be a play. Someone hit that 99, and obviously it was off to the races because of these two filings that dropped intraday. And we'll see what comes up. They're obviously trying to get some current things or get some things taken care of, it looks like. It's very fresh right now, still a very fresh play, but moves with ease. I got in at 135 and sold at 0.34. It was over 200% gain. Very nice play for Friday. And it's pulled back all the way down to a penny and a half here, which is literally not a bad area of support area. So double, a penny 30, probably be a decent add. As we know, everybody on Friday did not get a position until 99, 00.99, literally a penny. So you don't have that much below you if you did get it at a penny 30. It was very, very thin, not much volume to make this thing move. And obviously with a tiny little 22 mil float, could easily see 5 to 10 cents on good news as well. So keep that on your watch. More to come for it. PBHG. Played this one as well Friday. Nice little move, nice little chart building here. Most people, got interest around. It seems like 0040s, maybe 5s, or 00040s, 4s and 5s. But this thing has been kind of all over the place, a little roller coaster run. With the CEO dropping information as far as, I think, an acquisition of some kind coming out for it. So it's got interest in supposedly getting some updates as far as possibly tomorrow. So we'll see how this play does going to the day, going through this week. I assume it's going to get more momentum. It is a fairly larger share structure, but with this price play, it's not ridiculous. It's not like it's so big it's not going to see maybe 0020s or something. There is a possibility it could see those numbers, obviously with strong news and good volume. If you can push live to 0020, this can easily push to 0020 plus. So with that said, we'll see what he brings to the table as far as more good interest and strong news for players in this play. But one to definitely watch out. Being here at 0012, it held very well for Friday, I thought. We did hit a high of 14, but it did not sell off really hard. People are holding for Monday. If he does not drop stuff tomorrow, I assume this thing will probably drop off some more tomorrow. But if he does drop some good stuff, it could actually stimulate the climb even more. So one to watch out for tomorrow. Is there really much other plays? NIHK. It's another one we got to watch. This one is getting custodianship on, let's see, I think it's, Tuesday, October 15th, my bad. So it's getting custodianship on October 15th. We first entered this play at 0050s, sub penny or half a penny, I should say. This thing has been pushing up as high as 135, and it's dropped back a little bit down here on, closed at 115, penny 15. So we'll see what happens. From what I know, everything points to signs that this thing is going to get granted. There has been no contesting filings dropped of any kind for this point, which is the old company coming forward and say, hey, quit, don't take our play away from us. We got plans for it. But there has been no contested filings coming from this. From what I believe, I think this is having a private court session for Tuesday, so we'll probably have information late Tuesday as far as whether it's granted or not. So expect probably 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It seems to be around the time that we start hearing things, maybe as early as 1 or 2 as well. But keep a good watch on it. This will probably trade sideways for the meantime until it's granted. But if it is contested and is not granted, obviously you're going to see a massive dump off. So this play trades very thin. It's got a very nice share structure. I think it's around 130 mil OS of some kind, I believe. We don't know what the float is. 137 mil OS. But it trades very thin. It trades very nicely. It is a Covent emptor, so it's going to be a little bit of a struggle for this new granted custodianship to take over and clean this thing up. So there will be a process, and obviously their whole end goal is a merger. Do have a Form 15, so you guys are protected from any SEC suspensions. But solid play. With good filings and good information, this thing can obviously see well up in the 2s plus. We'll know what the float is when filings actually drop. 2 cents plus. Very good candidate to see those numbers. This play does remind me a lot of EXLA, and I like EXLA actually a little better. It's got a crazy amount of chart push here. There has been quite a few groups on this last week pushing it. It is a little premature, I think, with I think the custodianship November 8th. We do got literally not much more than a month before we get our granted custodianship, more likely granted custodianship as far as moving forward on the next callus. But a nice plate to grab in on a good dip. And this thing just keeps on moving. Did test close to a penny. I think it hit 99 twice. Yeah, hit 92 and 98. So it's hit 90, right at 99, I think, twice. They pushed it up there close to close on Friday. Very nice finish on close. And I want to say our first support area is probably going to be the mid-6s if it does try to pull back down there. But if not, you're probably going to look around the 8s. 78 to 80s as far as a pullback, any near future pullback for that matter. But a slow day may drop this play off some. We'll see. But a good play for a long position because we do know it's got custodianship here November 8th. And I love these custodianship plays because they are future merger plays, but they do take time. They do take a lot of waiting. So you got to be patient holding these plays. Make sure you get a good ad on the play, hold your position long, and you can be deeply rewarded after things take effect, or you can wait to enter in when it's near the custodianship granted area or after it's granted. But by that time, this thing could literally be 2-3 cents a share. So just depends on where you want to add for that area. And also why I like it too is it's only got I think 100 mil float. It is a little bit better than NIHK. Yeah, 106 mil float. And it is a stop sign. It's not a convent end door. So a little easier to get pink current. They won't have quite the hoopla to get that taken care of. Also, Form 15 protects you from SEC suspension, so you're good on that as well. Other plays we got to keep an eye on this next week. COGV was a reinstatement. It came out late Friday, I think it was. Very tiny little share structure on this play, 280 mil OS. Last recorded float, 13 mil. We'll see how this thing trades. Let's see if it's got any float size in here. Not seeing it. But want to keep an eye on obviously they're working on to get this thing, up to par, but a reinstatement came out late Friday. Very nice share structure for this price range, in my opinion. So one to watch for going in tomorrow. Obviously, we'll probably get a pop. Looks like the bid is at 0.008 and the ask is at 0.1, so it's not a super crazy spread. But my guess is this thing is probably around I don't know. We'll see how it trades, but this could be a 50 mil float or so, probably. Just a guess off the top of my head. We'll see how this works and how it trades. One to watch tomorrow. Some more plays to watch is GGRN. Custodianship play, I think I'll have to look back to see when that thing is getting custodianship hearing. CBBT, CPVH, HMLA, another Costello play, getting a lot of hype this weekend. But pretty much that covers the plays in general going into this next week. But we'll find some others, guys, and let's make it a profitable week. We'll see how tomorrow, being Columbus Day, markets are open, but I expect them to be kind of slow. Hopefully not. Maybe everybody's taking off work and being like, hey, let's trade the OTC today. So maybe we'll actually have a decent day tomorrow. Just depends on how people decide to take the day and move forward. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys tonight. If you have any questions, feel free to hit up in the chat room. And let's have a killer week.
Thanks.